And in our contracts, for the most part, many of our cities and counties get a flat fee to support educational programs. So.
I'm saying it's just not working, and it's great. Thank you. I just don't think it's working. And this is, I mean, we all have interest here in trying to, just as you all do. Mm-hmm. And this is why we're having these meetings. But it's really, at least I can tell you that WM has a contract with the city of Hialeah, and in my district, and those campaigns are just not working. I think we have to try to look at ourselves. And it's great to check off these boxes and say we have these campaigns, but we have to have campaigns that actually work. And I think that it's incumbent to work with Broward County and Dade County and have these general campaigns, because municipal campaigns are great, but if we don't get the message out globally, we're going to be in the same mix, the same mess every year after year. And I think it's incumbent upon all you, because you all are going to make a lot more money when we have all these clean recyclables coming in that you could resell. So I'm just giving some food for thought for there. I don't know.
If I could speak on that for a minute too, from the local standpoint, first of all, we have to all work together. So all of us counties have to work together to get the general message out there. And then, as you were saying, we need to put ourselves in the general person's point of view. Why are they thinking the way they're thinking? So take a look at data, take a look at what's going into those carts, whether it's on a commercial, residential, private, whatever the sector is, and say, why did they put that in there? Why did they put that coffee maker in there? Well, because the carafe is glass and the plastic is, and then always constantly coming up with unique and different campaigns all the time in different ways, like the lock carts, or for example, we have on our website where if you're not sure of an item that can go into your blue cart, you punch it in and it will tell you whether or not it can go in the blue cart or where it should go. And where that's beneficial to us, the educators, is then we can look at what people are most confused about, what they're asking about, and then we can share that information with other counties, municipalities, on the local and government level.
And the only thing I'll add to that is that our marketing statistics that we've done nationally for the last 10 years show that about 20% of people really care about recycling, they're environmentalists, and for the most part, they're doing an awesome job. And then you have 20% of the folks, sometimes 30% of the folks, who are using their blue cart, their bins, simply as an extra garbage can. They have no interest in recycling, they're not even trying, and that's the bowling balls and everything else we get. And then there's about 50% in the middle who really want to do it, and they're making just some mistakes, and that's where the education really helps. But with those 20 or 30% of your residents who don't care at all, I know Miami-Dade County is moving to some fee structure, fines, whatever you want to call it. Hillsborough County, City of Tampa, others have looked at, do we only deliver recycling carts to those who really want to recycle? Do we pull carts? There's an enforcement component that's painful, and I know that's painful, but at some point, that's something that has to, I believe, and the company believes, but also the industry believes, has to be part of the discussion.
Good. We have another question in the back.
Thank you. I actually have two questions. The first is for Chris, and maybe it's just me not understanding, but in the reset or rethink, reset, recycle, where is reduce?
Well, because this particular campaign was focusing on the top 5 contaminants and the top 5 recyclables, that was the focus. The focus was not to reduce consumption for that particular aspect or the initiating of the campaign. It was to reduce contamination.
So are there other campaigns directed at kids K through 2 and high school about reduction?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I just didn't understand.
Yeah, there are definitely peripherals as well as, different things that we engage with, at the local level with schools. We help them institute recycling programs. We do work with a lot of teachers, who understand the impact of wanting to educate that next generation. And that's what. Yes, the share table, for example.
Thank you.
Reducing food waste in schools. We do a lot with teachers with that as well.
Thank you. And then my second question was for Sue. I'm just so impressed with the whole program. But you saying that you're looking in your blue bins that have the lock and you see almost 100% compliance, but are you looking in the garbage to see what is in the garbage that wasn't being recycled?
Absolutely. It's always twofold. And I'm going to say probably the biggest thing that we see from the soft data that we've collected is aluminum cans. And so then we'll target our marketing campaign to aluminum can recycling.
I think we're going to try to squeeze in one more question. Yeah, we got one more, and then everyone will remain around to talk to everybody. I apologize.
Not sure I need one of these, but hi, Dawn. Question and comment. Post-COVID, do we see more waste? Because if just looking in the back of the room right now, you know, and around the room, we really should have been told to bring our own containers and refill them. Mine is in the car with my coffee in it. And instead of this, so for reduce, that's when we're having a conference like this, that should be a directive, or that should be in your goodie bag on the way in. And I noticed that, you know, like a lot of the things that would normally be in bulk when we are at an event like this, like the cream cheese and the butter and whatnot. So that's a long-winded way of saying, has COVID changed the delivery of items to the general public, and has that changed recycling and how much more recycling there is?
The one thought I have on that is, you know, you had a big anti-plastic campaign going into COVID, you know, the straws and everything else. But during COVID, because of sanitary concerns, you saw all of the single-use plastics coming back because of that. So I don't know if we've gone back to pre-COVID, but we certainly saw, obviously, waste all move home with our commercial establishments closing, but you certainly saw plastic back in the forefront in our grocery stores and elsewhere because of the concern.
One last comment. Just to kind of address the overall theme here, you know, we're really have been focused on residential recycling in the room, but commercial multifamily, which is a piece of also residential, but commercial is going to be your biggest bang for the buck. That's where we're seeing the largest recycling, the largest volumes coming in. There are ordinances. I know that's not always a happy word to put in, but some counties do have commercial ordinances for recycling in the state. It's things to consider when you look at education, but that also means enforcement. And again, there's not always budgets and people to be able to do those kinds of things, but that's certainly, if you are looking at how to clean up your recycling, get more recycling, there's that option. Multifamily is a certain type of targeted education. Residential's targeted, different sectors, you know, you have to target differently. Cart tagging, waste management, you know, when you're talking education, it's just not about a campaign. It's about cart tagging. It's about live billboards, people having conversations, and that's it.
So I think that wraps up the time we have for this panel. We'll be here, and we're happy to hang out and answer questions during the break, and I believe it starts up again at 11. No break? No break. Thank you.